Download the Millennium News 24 app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Stay tuned with Millennium TV and Millennium News 24 for the latest updates.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Jineea Butler, here with the New American Perspective, and I have my co-host, Mr. G Check himself.
Hey, Butler, you ain't gotta do that.
Oh, I don't have to say his name no more. Here we go, early on. Well, world, I want to know how you are. How has your week been? We missed you this week. You want to say something? You want to tell them you miss them?
I see y'all.
So how was your week this week? We have a great show for you today. So much going on in America, so much going on around the world. Where do you watch us from? Where are you watching us from live? If you're watching us live on Facebook, shout out to if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on the Sky Network, the Rising Network, around the world. Welcome and happy Wednesday to you. Okay, cousin, let's just get right into it.
Get to it.
Let's start off with President Trump. He's doing a whole lot in the White House. I'm not impressed, President Trump. The other day he had actually called Charlemagne the God a low IQ individual because Charlemagne went on the Laura Trump show on Fox News, and Charlemagne went on the show and he told his real thoughts about it, and they were respectable thoughts. It were his opinions, and he thought that he was going to get the Stephen A. treatment from Donald Trump, and Trump came back and said, "Yo, that's a low IQ individual. Who was he anyway?" Threw him down a little something. So then Charlemagne put him as the donkey other day, and Charlemagne, so he's going to fight back. But that was a blow to Charlemagne, yes. And he didn't like that. But what's happening is President Trump, we're going to talk to you today. You are doing way too much against the Black community. We stood with you. The 20% of the Black community that stood with you has not been rewarded. Everybody else rewarded around the country, but what about us? So you have all of these issues with the Black agenda that you said that you was going to push forward. We supposed to be in the middle of economic development. We supposed to be in the middle of making America great again for everybody, President Trump.
Well, we already know this is a G check. We already know Trump. They didn't know, but I knew that was just game. People don't see the game. I recognize.
I'm not going for it.
I'm
not going for it. Game or no game, G check or no G check, we're going to get what we came to get. Our vote counted for something. We helped you make the way. Now you trying to take out the Smithsonian. Oh, it's too much slave exhibit in here. If it was no slavery to put in there, no exhibits to put in there, there would be nothing.
But this is a G check. This is what he's trying to do. He's trying to put the new stuff in there because he's trying to slave us all over again. He's
not trying to. I don't see. Tell me where he's trying to enslave us.
Well, listen, he's taking a lot of stuff away. He's taking a lot, and not even just the Black people. It's the Blacks, the Browns, and the lights.
Yeah, everybody. And I just feel like in the Trump administration, it's one track. It's a monolithic thought of white folks that are trying to think for everybody else. How are you doing that, sir?
They've been doing it.
No, how are you doing that? And then saying that's right.
Well, guess what? Look in his office. If you turn
that's what I mean.
Look in his office.
I should be in the White House right now, President Trump.
Yeah, we should be. The G check.
It's a G check. And so what I'm saying is that, so right now, President Trump, he sent the National Guard into DC. Okay, they're touting 450 arrests. He's got his guard dog now. My homegirl, Judge Jeanine Pirro, is over there, the new Attorney General of DC, and that's Trump's guard dog. she is longtime Trump friends, so she's going to tell him the truth. And I'm hoping that, she sees more than just us being criminals and things of that nature, because that's what we need. We need somebody who seems further into. He's trying to make DC white again, which it seems like to me. But Chocolate City is still there.
They trying to make it.
Old school Chocolate City?
He's trying to make it white chocolate.
That's a G check. Now, you know old school Chocolate City?
Listen. Shout out to Southeast, Good Hope Road, Butler Gardens.
Oops.
14th and W, Clifton
Oops.
Terrace. Yeah, I
don't ask somebody something if you don't want the answer.
Yeah, definitely. I was out there.
Okay, so Chocolate City. I got introduced to Chocolate City. I don't know Chocolate City. I got introduced to Chocolate City. Shout out to Al Swells out there in DC. Shout out to Emmanuel Bailey, Veteran Services, out in DC. Real strong DC men. Now, Marion Barry, we were talking about that yesterday, how Marion Barry had came in and made DC viable to the Black community. And there's a lot of Black work, and there's a lot of things, the jobs, those Black jobs, they were in DC. Now, Trump didn't cut out all those Black jobs, right? So nobody is working in DC right now except Trump and his crew. Now they're trying to clean up the streets. Now, the streets of DC could be clean just like the streets of anybody else. Now, I'm not one to sit back and say that we don't need to clean up. We don't need to go in our hoods. We don't need to fix the kids, and we don't need to do that. I'm not one to say that. I think that we need to tell the kids, pull up your pants, get ready. No tattoos on the face, no tattoos back in the day, right? Let's get ready for this because it's over. Now, you come from the streets, right, cousin?
A G check. No, listen, I ain't. Let's say this. Let's say this. I come from money earning Mount Vernon. I'm like Denzel Washington. I never came from the streets. I was on the streets. I didn't come from the streets.
Okay, well, say it how you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it.
But I'm saying that in the sense of that game is over.
Oh, yeah,
we have to move forward. That's what I'm saying. That's the G check.
But the G check is the game been over because, these days you got all the people out there working for the government. So the game been over. It's been over.
That's a good one. So there's a lot of informants out there. Watch out for those third party informants, those women who want their men to come home. Okay, watch out for those things too. So what I'm saying is that the game on the streets, the money earning that was coming from Mount Vernon is over. Okay, and meaning that if you got to pick up some cocaine, if you got to pick up some tablets and sell them stuff, why can't you just get ready for a real job? Why can't you just be ready to be effective in America? Why can't we be the smartest in the world? And that's where we got to go from this point here forward.
That's a G check. But at the end of the day, what they doing is what they doing, sending National Guards in because they don't want to give these kids jobs. They don't want to give these kids opportunities. They want to take, they definitely want to take everything away from us, but turn around and act like we the bad guys. Because let me say this, because you said something, but I didn't want to stop you, interrupt you. Tattoos on the face. That didn't come from a Black person. That came from a white person.
Well, we don't need to put them on our face. Well, regardless of who it came from, we don't need it.
But you got to remember, this world we live in is nothing but monkey see, monkey do.
Well, we don't need to see and do that part, though.
Listen. And then when I say monkey see, monkey do, it's on both ends.
What you mean?
The whites do it. The blacks do it.
Okay, but we don't need it. What I'm saying is we need a fortress for around our community as they're trying to send the National Guard in to get our babies and to lock our babies up for 30 years to say that they cleaned up America, right? So kids, again, I'm going to stress this. You don't have time to run the streets and get your first strike. You don't have time to get 3 strikes like our guys of the past. We no strikes. Team no strikes, okay? So President Trump, sir, we are asking you to say something like you were saying in the election process. You got Fabio Foreign. He just came home from jail. He just did 6 months for making terrorist threats. So he's home. You got... what's that other one's name?
Free Diddy.
We just gonna go blank on him real quick. Diddy, Puff Daddy has his sentencing October the 3rd, and so I don't know if they're gonna do it. I don't know if they're gonna give him time served. He's on the all free Diddy team. I'm on the all. Listen. Do what you're going to do because I don't think that we have any say over that. But
Free Bopper.
We have who?
Free Diddy. Free R. Kelly.
I like to see R. Kelly get his numbers knocked down a little bit because he didn't even stand a chance. But like I said, Trump, DC, they're talking about sending the National Guard to New York, sending the National Guard.
I don't think you want to send them
to. I mean, what are they going to do? People are going to get shot. Like you're going to run up on the National Guard. Like,
well, they going to run up on us, right?
No, they're just stop doing the crime. Because if you stop doing the crime and they can arrest you, we can get rid of these people, right? If they arrest you and you're not doing any crime, then we have something to fight about. But if they arrest you and you're doing something ridiculous, then we have everything to fight about. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. So let's talk about a story out in Texas. Okay. Out in Texas, a young lady named Nicole Collier, state representative in Texas. So if you remember last week, the Texas politicians, I don't know if it was their Senate, their state Senate, whatever, but the Texas folks, they pushed out, they didn't want the gerrymandering. So in Texas, the Governor Abbott said, we are going to, Trump said, pull out 5 more seats in Texas, meaning so that Texas gets 5 more congressional seats, cut the number of people up, because it's about 1 million seats per congressperson, right? So a congressperson goes over 1 million people, right? So they're saying, well, in Texas, we could cut this up a little more to get a little 5 million more seats and take some seats out and some Democrat seats, and it's called gerrymandering, okay? So what the Texas Democrat delegation did was they took a trip to Chicago. So they all said, we're not going to work. We're going to vote. We're going to vote when we get back, if we get back. So the Texas people, they was all up in arms. The Texas Republicans, they all up in arms. Like, what is they doing? Y'all better get in here and vote. Y'all don't have the votes for what you want. You're going to have to do what we said. They said, no, we going to Chicago. Well, don't they go to Chicago and the Texas people say, arrest them for leaving and not showing up to work? Well, they said, well, you can't arrest us if we're not there. Hold on. So they finally come back. Then the Texas delegation, the Republicans who are in power in Texas, told every person that left and that was absent, you have to sign this contract saying that we're going to surveil you until the next vote. Make sure that you get here on Wednesday, which is 10 o'clock today. Make sure that you get here 10 o'clock on Wednesday. We're going to surveil you for the next, I guess it was 4 days or over the weekend till today. We're going to surveil you, and then we'll have the vote, and then we'll get our 5 seats, and y'all could go and do whatever you want to do. So Nicole Collier says, I'm not signing it. G-check. So
exactly.
She says, I'm not signing it. So she's been sleeping in the Capitol for the last 3 days. They held her hostage in the Capitol for the last 3 days. G-check it, will you?
Listen, we talk about a lot of things in this world, but they throw it right in front of your face. The government is the biggest gangsters in the world. They get away with everything. You know, we talk about this little small stuff with the National Guards, this and this and that, because at the end of the day, if you look at everything, the drugs, the guns, they flooded in our community. So at the end of the day, we look at it like, oh, we got to stop this, we got to stop that. The government, y'all got to stop putting it in our community. So they just show y'all slowly. The only thing y'all got to do is take time out and watch what's going on. Open your eyes. Your mind is already open, but open your eyes and see the game. This Clearly. Is why it's called a G-check, because everything starts with a G.
Government.
Government.
God. Good.
Exactly.
Everything. God.
G-check.
So shout out to Nicole Collier for standing on her G, 10 toes down. She slept in the place for 3 days, told everybody why she was staying there. She was like, I am not about to sign my life over to these people to tell me that they're going to follow me around to when and if I get to work on Wednesday. So I'm sitting in. So she was the only one that sat in. So we'll see what happens today, but they're going to make the vote. And see, this is why, people, we've got to vote. Okay? You know, I'm a Republican. You know, I vote Republican. Okay? And I also fight for the Black agenda for Republican things. Okay? But the community, the fact that our community doesn't get out, and we'll go to a break, and then we'll talk about Mayor Adams in this New York race that I don't know if it's heating up. But if we don't vote, if we don't get involved, we don't have a voice. So when things like this happen,
G-check.
Okay, then we can't do anything, and they can gerrymander, and they can do all that kind of stuff.
G-check.
Complete G-check. So shout out to Nicole Collier. Shout out to Texas for trying to do something. I know Roland Martin was upset. How y'all just going to walk out? How y'all just going to give up the fight? What they don't know what to do. So we've got to go back to the basics, because they pulled out a 1920 law or something like that let them put these people under surveillance until they come back. So we're going to come back with the New American Perspective and your G-check, and we will be right back with more for you today, this Power Wednesday. Would you like to say something?
G-check.
That's all you can say, a G-check. We'll be right back.
I say G-check, and I'm going to start saying that.
And we are back here with the New American Perspective and your weekly G-check with
A.B. Butler.
He don't want me to say his name, people. Okay, so New York mayor race. You've been hot, cold, in the middle. How are you feeling right now about what you see, hear, and feel?
What I hear, what I feel is all talk. It's been all talk for the longest. That's what I feel and what I see. Eric Adams, you definitely gonna catch him outside. He a mayor that you can touch, you can see, you can hang out, you catch him in the cigar bar, you catch him in the streets of Harlem, you catch him in the streets of Brooklyn, and he'll talk to you. So that's what we need. You know, y'all might look at a lot of things, what he did, what he didn't do, but at the end of the day, he's the only mayor that I see is outside for real.
So what about Curtis Sewell, the guardian angel? He's been out for 40 years. How you gonna say that Eric Adams is the only person?
Mayor. He's not been the mayor.
You mean
you saying a mayor? You saying
okay.
a mayor? He's not a mayor. He's been on the trains and stuff like that back in the days. But you saying, what do I think about the mayor? So
no, the mayor's race.
Okay, well, still, he's the mayor.
He's the mayor right now. He has had 4 years. I think New York has gone down since he's been the mayor. Now, he was outside. He said he was the nightclub mayor, and that didn't work. It didn't work. It really put him in a bad space.
New York always been going down. And let's be real about this, right? We're going to talk about New York. You got Harlem. You got the Bronx. You got Brooklyn, you got Westchester. At the end, let me say this, people. If you come into a community, it's going on. Now, look, you go to Harlem, they can't do no more cookouts because of what? Because of the white person. They don't want you to be in front of your buildings, cooking out, whatever. I know it be things going on, but still. If you don't want this to go in, and it's been going on in the community, stay out of it. Stay out of it.
Yeah, but you know what the community has to do? Again, we have to vote. So you know how the community actually goes in and says, hey, we want to barbecue on the street like we always been, and these people coming into our community don't have a right to come into our community and tell us that it's too loud, but they came into our community that was loud from the beginning. Mm-hmm. You got to go to the community board meeting. Okay. We got to show up. We have to be different. So with our lifestyles, the way that we are, we got to be able to go to the club. We got to be able to go to work, and we got to go to the community board meeting and vote in every election.
Well, definitely. You know, the voting part, we can say vote, 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 right? Guess what, people? This is the biggest G-check. Everybody voted and got Trump in the office. And look what happened. Look what we're going through because we did vote.
Everybody didn't vote.
We did vote.
There's some people voted. Everybody did not vote.
It didn't matter. We did vote.
Everybody didn't vote. And so yes, okay.
That's a G.
Okay, that's a G check. And I'm going to take that because I'm part of the Trump problem right now. And you're going to have to fix that, President Trump, because I didn't put my name on the line for you. So all of a sudden you could go over and say, oh, black is horrible. You never said that. But however, that's how it feels. That's how we're feeling out here. I'm looking for the agenda. I'm looking to say, see, I told you that he was who he was. That's what I'm looking to do. And I know you're not going to let me down because you haven't thus far. But I think that you need to get some people in your ears that can make you see everything, President Trump, that want you to see everything. I want you to win. I want you to be the best president that ever lived. I want to see that. However, you can't be that just for one group of people, sir. Yes, you clean up America. Yes, I'm glad the borders are closed. Yes, I'm glad all those things. Now make Black America great for the first time.
How about black and brown great for the first
time? We could do that.
Okay.
We could do that.
It ain't just us going through it. They going through
okay, it. We could do that.
So let's make it. Matter of fact, listen. This is a G check. Can we make a G check great again? Trump, this is what you need to do. Let's get off the black, the brown, the white, whatever. Let's start treating people like people, human beings.
I am a citizen.
That's a G check.
I am a citizen of the United States. Then that'll be coming up. Yes, but now let's stay on this mayor's race, okay? So right now, your boy, Mr. In the Streets, is polling 8%.
That don't mean nothing.
What do you mean it doesn't mean anything?
So, look, Trump was down, so next thing you know, he got Elon Musk. He on top of the world.
But okay, so who's gonna come? Who's gonna come to his rescue? Puffy?
Free Diddy.
Who's gonna come to his rescue? So Mayor Adams is polling at 8%. We saw that earlier today that Governor Patterson endorses Mayor Adams and said, "Look, listen, listen, Mamdani, who is the front runner, who has 44%, right? And he just got $250,000 from a billionaire, billionaire heir, sent $250,000 for a PAC to Mamdani. So there's people in New York that don't want to see Cuomo win. Cuomo is polling about 20-something%, and then you got Siwa at 16%. So the three of them are polling the 44%. Mamdani's got 44% of the city right now, of the likely voters in the city. Now, if we want to change this, everybody just get up and vote. Go out and register today, and you could be a part of who's next in line. Now, everybody's looking at the young money. 33-year-old Mamdani from Uganda, a Muslim gentleman.
Yeah, once again, G-check. We got to see what is next. See, this is where we get caught up on. You know, this is where the G-check come in. We get caught up on nationalities. We get caught up on the Bible, the Quran. Yo, let's get caught up on who's going to do right by the people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but a fact is a fact.
But, you know, and we so quick to say, what's his nationality? Ain't nobody say Trump nationality.
Yes, they did. They talked about his dad being German and being like Hitler and stuff like that.
They said that, hey, listen, at the end of the day, let's talk about the person that's going to change for the people. New York been feeding these greedy governors, the mayors, for so long, and we still vote, and don't get what we deserve. We put people in office that spin us, you know what I mean, all the time. You get where I'm coming from? Because I don't live in Harlem, the Bronx, or Queens, but at the end of the day, I went to school with a mayor from around my way, and nothing changed. I say this to every mayor, every person that runs for Mount Vernon, what you going to do for the town? And nothing changed. So the same thing with the mayors. Listen, we need to get some people in there that really going to do what they say. We should be holding them responsible and locking them up, sending the National Guards to their office and put them in jail to get it together. And that's a G check. And
so you see this law that you keep peddling, and this law that you want to push onto the table, and you want to say, if the law that he wants is if a political person, okay, this is the G-check law. I like it. The G-check law, okay? Or the G-check act, whatever you want to say. I'm going with it. But what he wants to do is he wants to say, if you are a politician and you decide that you want to tell the people you're going to do X, Y, Z, if you get into office and you don't do X, Y, Z, and you start doing A, B, C, guess what?
They come to get you.
It's the G-check. So the G-check law in effect. So we're going to push that. But see, you know how that happens?
Go ahead and say the magic
you
word.
go ahead. You go ahead and say it. Make sure that I know that you paying attention.
Go ahead. You're going to go say vote.
Yeah.
Vote.
Right. So we have to get registered. We have to get active. This has to be, and then the other thing that we got to be active is in our parent-teacher conferences at school. Yes, the same way we got to be involved. We have to change the game, people, and we can't only be Democrat. One of the reasons why I'm a Republican is because we need allies on both sides of the fence. We need somebody that's in there that's going to speak up for our true values, and not just somebody that's looking like they want to be in another race, and they're going to be in that race because they're Republicans, because Black Republicans are known to be of the other persuasion. What do they say?
Quote unquote.
Every skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? That's what they want to say about Republicans, right? Well, every Democrat, I'm gonna come up with something, but I'm gonna come up with every Democrat ain't for the Black, something to the degree. But what I'm saying is we could do these type of things if we vote. So what I need you people to do is I need you to go out and register to vote. If you've never voted, don't feel no type of way about it, okay? There's so many ways that you can register to vote. You could go online and just type in register to vote, New York City. You still have time for this general election. The general election is happening November, I believe, 5th, or the first Tuesday of the month, okay? And we have to be active. New York City is going to change in November. So whether you get a former governor who is now the mayor, who's going to be extra because he ran the whole state and now he's coming in just for a city, so he thinks he's all that, and he won't back down. The other day he was at he was in the Hamptons telling everybody in the Hamptons, listen, I think President Trump is going to come and he's going to get involved in our race soon, and everything is going to be better. Now, this is somebody, Cuomo, I don't know if you remember COVID. This is somebody that hated Trump. So I'm not with Trump coming in and not representing. They think they're going to, Curtis Sewa and President Trump, they don't have a good relationship. Curtis is the Republican. So he thinks that President Trump is going to come in and knock Sewa to the side and say, look, the GOP, don't vote for Sewa, vote for Cuomo, kick out Adams and Sewa, and it's Mom Dami against Cuomo. Now, that's in Cuomo's perfect world, right? But this is G-check, President Cuomo. This is G-check, Governor Cuomo. You can't do it like that.
This is G-check. He's not the governor no more.
He isn't the governor, but you still give him the title. You know what I'm saying? He isn't the governor anymore.
Let me say this in G-check. Queens versus Queens. Cuomo and Donald Trump. They both from Queens.
Oh, so that's why they kind of got that, we're different kind of white men. Because Cuomo's the Italian white guy. Trump is the Irish Jewish. So, gangs of New York, if you know what I mean, people. It's a G check, a gang check there. So we're going to take a break and we're going to come back more. We got some entertainment news today. We got some entertainment, fun stuff to talk about. But we've got so much to talk about today. We will be right back on the New American Perspective here on Millennium News 24 with your daily, your weekly G-check with this guy over here.
Butler.
Tell him your name, son.
A.B. Butler, back in the game, entertainment.
You understand? We'll be right back.
Well, I guess it's not.
He gonna go. Because look. And we are back.
We never left.
I don't know if you could hear us, if you could see us, but we are back. This is your New American Perspective, and we're here on our 30 hour, our 1:30 hour, and we got a lot to talk about. We got some entertainment stuff to talk about. So first, let's talk about your girl Wendy Williams. Okay, Wendy Williams went to court. You know, everybody was all up in arms going after her. Wendy Williams went to court, and she lost her battle to get freed from her conservatorship. So right now, Wendy Williams is in a guardianship where somebody is watching over her money. They've got her in an assisted living home. They say that she's got a bout of dementia. Right. So now Wendy's got her lawyers. She's got people that are trying to get down. These people are trying to get her money, too. Let's just be serious about that. You know, the guardian is overseeing the money to make sure she got money and make sure she don't go spend it. She might relapse. I don't know what the real problem is, but the guardian is holding that. Now, the lawyers that want to help her get out, what do they want to do? They want to get
some of that free Wendy Williams money.
They want to get paid in full.
They want to get some how you doing money.
How you doing? And so Wendy is not free yet. Okay. She went on Our Friends Sit in the Morning at 77 WABC. We connected them over there. And she went on the show this morning. We got to check out and see what she said and what her lawyer, Joe Tapapico, I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, but Joe has taken on her case. Remember, he was with Puffy too, the little muscle bound, the muscle bound lawyer. He was with ASAP Rocky. You know, he getting that money, so he trying to continue to get that money. Let's get you out of here, Wendy. Now, here's my problem with the Wendy story.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Something's wrong with her. That's not Wendy of old.
G-check. You think somebody put a Mickey in her tea?
Listen, I think when she fell down, when she was the Statue of Liberty, when she was the Statue of Liberty, when she hit the deck, when she was boom, and she just hit the deck while she said she was too hot and all that, she ain't never been right since. So I think somebody did the Suge Knight and stuck her with something and, you know, made her relapse and made her go off and made her to the point where she's ill. You know, I don't think that somebody can get ill from the point that she was talking about everything and the point that she had, looked like she had her life on point. Right?
Yeah. You know, it's a G-check. It's so sad to see people get in these positions.
Right.
And then they turn out the way they are now. You know, it's sad.
Talked herself in there. So I want to say something to the kids that karma is real.
It is.
What goes around comes around.
Go Trump.
Oh, yeah. Trump said he's going to get into heaven by stopping the Ukraine wars. So by stopping the war, he talked to Putin, and he said, listen, we're going to come up with something. Putin's not ready yet. But when I stop these wars, I know I'm going to heaven.
That's a G-check.
That's a G-check. A pure and a complete G-check. Go, Trump. He's trying to get his name in the book. Do what you got to do, my man.
Listen,
stop the war.
G-check. You're already in the book. 34 felonies. The only guy that's been in the White House with 34 felonies.
And he was impeached twice.
Yes.
And so, I mean, that just says that anybody can do it.
Yeah. Well, I need to go in the White House.
That just says anybody can do it. You got to get the bread, get your money right, get your talking points right. That's what we're doing now. And so Wendy Williams, prayers to her and her issues and everything that she's going through, because I don't like to see anybody misdiagnosed or anything of the sort. But I think that, you know, if they put the real problem on the table, that she has a drug problem, that, you know, it's not so much dementia and all of this stuff that she's trying to skip out and she don't want nobody to know. She's a drug and a drinking problem, and she's always had that. And as a recovering addict, you always have to go through those things.
Yeah. And the and the G check is, you know, Wendy, you really need to have a real brother like myself around you. It's not on no yes man time, going to tell you what's right, what's wrong, because most of the time, these artists, these football players, these basketball players, whatever, they be having so many yes mans around them and not there because you get the check. But you got to take care of these people and hold them down like it's your kid, like it's your mother, it's like it's your father. But most of the time, these guys got these dudes around them just because they famous and they want to check. They don't care nothing about it, because once one of them fall, it's a wrap. Everybody, rest in peace to my cousin Chris Lighty. It's going to be his anniversary, 13 years. This man did so much for the people in the industry, and they turned their back. So I'm saying to y'all is out there, this is a G check. Find brothers is real in your corner for making sure you good, not for the green or the money or the looks. That's a G check.
That's a G check. But what makes you so, like a man like yourself, why do you care about somebody else's well-being so much?
Well, listen, you got to remember this. This is a G check. We all human. You know where I'm coming from? I've been through the struggles. So I see what's going on in the world. A lot of people blind because, like I tell people all day long, I was social media before social media. So I've been outside before a lot of people could come off their porch, leave their block. So I see what's going on. But people really need hugs and help.
Hugs and help. That's a new business we're doing. This is a G check. Hugs and help. Let me write that down.
Please do.
Hugs.
And you heard it first.
And help.
And New American Perspective.
By A.B. Butler.
Exactly.
He gives hugs and help people. Just round of applause. Okay. So, Wendy, Jim Jones. What was all that for? What's the extra breath? Like, I just didn't get Jim out. I said Jim Jones. He said,
go ahead.
Okay, so Jim Jones recently was in the news because he was going on Nas. He says, oh, Nas ain't really that relevant. I'm more relevant than Nas right now. And the industry folded in on him, closed down on Jim, and said, Jimmy, Jomo, you wrong. Okay? Now, so he says, well, look, show me different. My son, then he copped the plea. He says, well, after everybody, he says, whoa. You know, I didn't know people love Nas like that. Sorry. But my son had actually said that to me. And my son had said, Dad, you more relevant than Nas. Got him in trouble.
This is a G check. This is a G check. What Jim said, he didn't say nothing wrong. Because if you ask, because you got to remember, in the hip hop world that we live in, you'll hear the younger people say, that's an old head. So they don't know certain artists unless you can't be a Busta Rhymes or a Diddy, because what they did was they stay irrelevant because whoever become hot, they jump on the bandwagon. So what Jim was saying, and he didn't say nothing wrong. The young kids, because Jim is out there running around with these influence and these young kids, so they know Jim, because Jim is still outside. Nas is humble and quiet and moved the way he moved.
And acting his age.
Yeah, but I'm saying acting his age. But at the end of the day, the young kids know who Jim is because Jim be around him in the studio with him. Nas be taking care of his business and moving. He didn't say it as a disrespectful. He just opened the eyes. So guess what? He opened the eyes to the Instagram, the media, the social media world. So now they know who Nas is now, the young kids, because what Jim said. Because if you look at it and think about it, look at it, you wouldn't hear none of these young kids say Nas this, Nas that, Nas that. But now everybody is saying Nas' name and praising him now because of Jim putting the battery in the conversation.
Okay.
That's a G check.
That's a G check. Now he also went on to say that, you know, Nas had on Raekwon from Wu-Tang Clan just released an album. Very good. The Emperor's Clothes. Shout out to Raekwon on that. The chefing up chef. And so on Raekwon's album, Nas has a feature.
Okay.
It sounded like it was a diss, a Jim Jones diss. Now everybody took it to the point where Raekwon had to come out and say, no, that wasn't against Ray. They're creating the unity and they're creating the love amongst hip hop. Now I think that it might have been for Jim, but I think Nas was just sneaking something in the back door and let you know that I can cut you up.
Yeah, but what a G check is, I realized this new social media world we in, that this hip hop and this music became mini skirts because everybody putting them on now because they so, oh, no, this is hip hop.
This is Daisy Dukes. You know who Daisy Dukes is?
Of course, do you asking me? Do I know what Daisy?
Yes. So don't say that they putting on. Don't put on.
I dealt with all the Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, but that Daisy Dukes were shorts, skirts.
But no, it was shorts. It wasn't a skirt.
It doesn't matter.
No. It do matter. It was shorts, not a skirt. They playing, you know, the way the industry is like tennis now. You know how the girls be wearing a little short mini skirt, tennis skirts. That's what this industry is coming to because everybody now is so sensitive. Back in my era, you had the Busy Bee, the Kumo D, the LLs, the Iced Teas. Nobody took it. You know what I mean? We knew it was the record and we left it there. We wasn't on. Everybody is, look at the Drake and Kendrick Lamar, sensitive. Now you want to sue the label. Come on, baby. Come on.
Everybody want to keep their money. That's a G check.
Well,
everybody wants to keep their money.
That, shout out my brother, Fat Joe. Happy birthday. Man.
Happy birthday, Fat
and
Joe.
I did see Jim at the birthday event. You know, shout out to Fat Joe.
Okay, so happy birthday, Fat Joe. Jim Jones. Now, what reason why I brought that up, and we'll go to a break in a second. The reason why I brought that up is because Fabio Foreign, who did a song Spicy with Nas, who I think, you know, brought Nas back up, Spicy. You know, Fabio Foreign, he said Nas is irrelevant too because he don't know no Nas bars. He grew up on Chief Keef. And so we've got eras in hip hop that we've got to accept. We're going to go to a break. And when we come right back, we're going to finish up with our entertainment segment and the New American Perspective for this week and the G Check. So we'll be right back.
Right back.
And we are back. here on the New American Perspective with your G-Check with my co-host.
A.B. Butler.
He likes to say it. And we are G-checking and doing a whole bunch of stuff, checking your G. And call us in because we'll come out to your party and see and check your G, see what you are doing on site. And you could be featured here on the New American Perspective and get our perspectives about what you're doing across America and across the world. Okay, so we Jim Jones, Fabio Foreign. So Fabio sits down, he doubles down on Jim Jones. He says, well, listen, I don't know a Nas line either, but these are generations. That does not mean about relevancy. That does not mean don't give a legend respect, even if you don't know it. I wasn't there with Aretha Franklin, but I ain't gonna be like, I don't know none of her songs. I'm not gonna be like, Patti LaBelle, I wasn't there when she was scatting and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not gonna take that away from her.
Well, let me G-check this in our hip hop community world we in. We hate each other so bad. We don't support. We don't give back. It don't matter if it's a younger guy or older head. Now, my artist, Trees Da Vinci, he want to give back to all the heads that he admire, and he's a young guy. You get where I'm coming from? So you got Sarai, the artist, she want to give back to the singers that she admire. Mm-hmm. But it's like the older guys don't acknowledge these up and coming artists because they so selfish.
They're competitive.
They selfish.
They're competitive. I'm going to argue that that's a competition. I'm arguing that because hip hop is built on competition, and I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that.
Competition.
So they're competing. They're selfish, but I'm competing. I can't put you in a spot that you're gonna beat me out of.
Well, let me G-check this, cuz. So you saying what you just saying? That's the same thing of a person like myself going in to bring something in. Oh, I'm not gonna let him in because he's my competition.
That's what they do. That's what they do all day, every day.
But at the end of the day, it don't help.
That's idiotic. Don't get me wrong.
It don't help.
No, it's idiotic. Whereas though that I think that, and let me say this, because there's not a lot of hip hop artists that are athletes, okay? But I think that hip hop was that sport. Right? Hip hop is a sport if you look at it, except it turned into a culture.
No, let me say this. That's only in New York City. Let me say that. Okay. Atlanta, it don't matter. They show love to their community. They might not get along, but they show love to their community. They get on, let me bring this, let me do this, let me do that. LA, the only culture that does that big, and this is a G-check, because I'm really outside, is New York.
Okay, but New York started it.
It don't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
What I'm saying is, with that hate.
Well, greed, tell me where that came from. You was there.
Yeah, I was there. It didn't come from the beginning.
Where did it come from?
From 1990, I'm gonna say 2000.
No, it couldn't have because
why not?
Because in 2000, half the artists that's from New York are not even relevant at that
2000,
point.
2000, you still had X.
You had DMX, but you didn't have a Melly Mel. You didn't have
Melly Mel.
No, they wasn't doing nothing in 2000. They might have been touring overseas, but they weren't doing anything relevant in 2000.
But guess what? They was
already going. You go back a little further than that. 90s.
Look. Let me say this.
I'm gonna say 89.
No, I'm not gonna say no 89.
I'm saying 89. Okay. When money started flowing in the 90s.
It ain't even.
It's about money.
Yeah, it is about. It ain't got nothing to do with the money part.
What?
New York just hate New York artists that put New York dudes on. Yes.
It's money. That's what we're talking about. I believe that the competition is a money competition. Who is the king? We still have that piece. Now everybody want to split up because, I had a conversation with Melly Mel. Shout out Melly Mel. I had a conversation with him and he made me understand. He talked about this time where he was the king of hip hop. And everybody, he was on stage and everybody would bow down to him and everybody was trying to be that king. He said, I used to see Russell Simmons walking through the crowd and talking to the people that I couldn't talk to that was coming to give money. And then Russell cut it off. And then Russell eventually became king. Curtis eventually became. So all of these people who got their kingdom and then knocked down off the throne, they're playing a big game. Who got the crown? I did my first show. I did a show about stealing the crown, and that if we don't get ourselves together, that the white man's going to steal the crown. And look at where we out here. And I did that show in 2002, so it had to be before then. So now, what I'm saying is that hip hop now we have an opportunity. We're political. We're in education spaces. We have expanded. But now, like I always say, hip hop has got to get out its own way. You older people can't be on a pedestal and not let the young people live either. And you younger people can't disrespect the older people. And now we got to make it what it's supposed to be. Well, what we have left.
But you got G-Check, you got some younger people showing love to the oldest artists. Then you got some, it's just on daytime.
You know what the difference is? It's money. Kendrick Lamar is going to give proper respect to the elders because he got enough money to do it.
Yeah, but he was doing that before he probably had money.
No, not probably. He started doing it as soon as. So remember, he G-checked Snoop because Snoop, sent some Drake stuff around. Snoop gave Kendrick the crown in LA. But he had been given the crown and he respected the game. And so all I'm saying is respect the jokes, right? 50 Cent, he's a, movie guy now. Everybody can sit in their places. You got Miami, you got Rick Ross, who is reigning king over there, if you want to say that.
Shout out the real Rick Ross.
The real Rick Ross. He's out in California. Shout out Rick.
No, he everywhere.
No, but he's got his stuff going on in California. Then you have T.I. He claims to be the king of the South. And so this is all about being king. But have we really crowned a king? And let me say, before we go into my man, Dr. Umar, and how we canceling him here on the New American Perspective, Ghostface Killah, Wu-Tang friend of the show. His album is coming out on Friday. Supreme Clientele 2. People have been waiting 20 years for this album. We're looking forward to it, anticipating what we're going to hear.
So when we going to get him on the show?
We'll get him on the show soon. I guess after the album is going on, we'll get him on the show. And so now, what was I going to say? Dr. Umar. So Dr. Umar, some of you may know, I shouted him out before. We got about 5 minutes left, but shouted out Dr. Umar before. And Dr. Umar is a school psychologist out of Philadelphia, PA. For the last 10, 15 years, he's been talking about building all boys only live-in school headquartered in Delaware. He bought a building. And if you haven't seen it in the news, he's all over the place. I went to go checking. I'll show the pictures of when I went to go check him. I checked him out and stuff. I G-checked him and went to go see if he was real or not. He's a orator. He talks really well. He knows his school psychology stuff. He's a principal. I would hire him as a principal of a school and then watch him very closely because I think that he has very perverted ways where he's luring in the young women. And all the young women are coming to see Dr. Umar and their single kids. And I could teach you how to raise your son, sister. And, sister, snow bunnies never, black queens forever. He's got the sayings. He's out there. He's been on the Breakfast Club. He's been across the board talking, Joe Budden show, Roland Martin. Everybody has heard his case. But now he's losing the school. He just went back on yesterday talking about $500 lunch with the doctor. So $500 for lunch with the doctor. So he's going to, you donate $500 to his FG Frederick Douglass Academy. You donate $500. Okay, because donate me $500. Okay. And then I'm going to take you to lunch. Wow. Wherever you want to go in Delaware.
And I'm going to spend your $500.
No. I'm going to pay for the lunch.
Oh, you got to pay for it.
No, I'm going to pay for it. But you're going to give me $500. Don't worry about what I'm paying for it out of. Okay. That's the game he running. That's his G check. We got to check his G. Dr. Umar, we got to check your G. Yes. Dr. Umar, we got to check your G. So right now, he is sticking up to people. I have a problem with it. I think that he needs to pause and relax for a second. He's talking about his accounts are frozen. He's talking about everything crazy with his stuff. They're trying to auction off the school. People, stop giving this man money.
That's a G check.
That's a G check. And we're going to close out for today. And I had a great time with you today. Did you have a good time today, cousin?
Yeah, cousin.
Here on Millennium News 24. And we will be back next week. And I hope you join us. And we'll see you then.
Salute. And we're back.
We're back here on Millennium News 24. I know Noor is going to come running in here in a second.
Where you at?
Well, we don't have an issue. Should we continue to go on?